We are live.
We are live.
Yay. It's always um it's always a wonder to me how I can make this work, but it seems to be working every week.
Yes.
I am so thrilled to be here again. Happy Wednesday. I am here in the hot seat with Penny Love, and we have had some interesting conversation before hopping on here talking about work-life balance and just how little of it entrepreneurs take and really consider. And so it's going to be something that we're going to talk about and address today. And before we head in that direction, Penny, tell us about you. Where are you? What do you do? And we'll head into our topic, but let's find out about you first.
Okay, so hey everyone. I am Penny Love. I live in London. I'm Spanish originally from Spain. So that's the accent. And that but I've been in London for over 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
And so I've had, I used to work in fashion, then I went corporate, and then I hated corporate. So I started to look at coaching because I had been doing it for so long. I didn't know where else to do. Like, well, I've done this all my life. So I started to look into coaching. So like for me to get help so like I could be brave enough to go do something, and then what is this other something that I should be doing? So like finding your life purpose and all that. It was like, oh my god, like I'm 40 and I'm in this career. I don't want to be here. So what do? Like you're in midlife nearly. And then so I started to look into coaching. So then I got a coach, and my coach on the first day, she said to me, you should be a coach. And I was like, nah, you're crazy. Get me a proper job. And look how it all turned out, because she helped me so much. Then I was like, well, I also need help with dating. Then I got myself a coach with a dating coach. And
Nice.
my brain, when I went on like to get online dating coaching, I was like, my brain was like, I was like, what? You tell me that all I've been doing for 40 years is wrong?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Maybe I need a dating coach.
Everything that it's on the TV, in the magazines, in the novels, in online, it's not true. Nothing was true. I was doing everything wrong. I was just going with the flow. And that, it's not right, because when you work so much, the flow means you are in 100% masculine energy all of the time. So you cannot attract a masculine energy man if you are a masculine energy woman, which I'm not, by the way. I'm not a masculine, but I was forced into my masculine because high stress career, high stress life, lots of bills to pay. Living in London is really hard, and you're always on the go. So you're always in your masculine. You never have downtime. So you just attract like wrong people, wounded men or feminine men that they don't want to take charge. So you are like working at work, working all day, then you go on dates, then you have to be the masculine energy as well. And so it was like, so of course everything was wrong. And so I learned my wrong ways. And I changed it, like the dating especially changed my life. So
Wow.
I went on to be a dating coach, a love coach, and I love it.
Oh,
I'm
that's
so
what you're
happy.
doing. Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, that's how I always started. And because this was like, I used to say this 20 times a day or 30, or like 100. Like, they should stop, they should teach this stuff in high school. They should teach this stuff in high school.
There's a lot of stuff I
I
say that
thought,
they
well,
should be
they're not
teaching
going to
in
teach it
school.
in high school, but I'm going to teach it to every woman who cared to listen, because it's just not fair. We are, especially women, we are at such a disadvantage if we
Yeah.
don't know. You know, back in the day, there used to be dating rules, and then all the rules went out of the window, isn't it? Because all the women, we want to be modern, we want to do things like men, we want to like, you know, equality, and that's when everything went out of the window. And
Yeah.
then divorces started to happen, and you know, and people don't get married anymore. They don't. They move in together. There is a TV program, I haven't had a chance to watch it. It's called Get Married or Get a Mortgage. That's
There's
how
actually a
people live
TV
their
show
life
about
now.
that.
Yeah.
Wow. And then there's, of course, all the TV shows of, you know, blind marriage,
Oh
where
yes.
people are getting married without having met before, and
Yeah.
all kinds of, you know,
Yeah.
things in TV.
Yeah.
But I can see that. I mean, the world has definitely changed a lot, even just in the past, I don't know, 30 years probably, in dating, in how, well, I mean, we've gone online for dating too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely an interesting arena for sure,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people too who are coming out of long-term marriages,
Mm-hmm.
who
Mm-hmm.
are now in the dating world and going, what
And
do I
things have
do?
changed so much, isn't it? From where they were dating in the 20s, in high school, in university, where your dating pool was like, and now you come out the other side, now you're 40, divorced, and have no friends, no social life, nobody to go out with. You have to go online dating. But do you know what, the kids nowadays, they straight away go into online dating. Like, online
That's
dating
what they
used to be
know.
a thing that we, you know, weird people did, but now it's the norm.
Right.
It's the
Oh,
norm.
yeah.
Because men, especially now with the Me Too movement, are scared to approach women because they get in trouble. They don't know what to do. They're like, oh,
Right. Right.
consent.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
it's,
and all these things that also damage us as women.
yes. And dating is complicated, has always been
It's
somewhat
always been, yeah.
complicated. Throw in online, throw in, you know, what we do today,
Mm-hmm.
and how busy lives are, and then throw in a global pandemic, and I'm sure your world looks really different than we would think it would,
Oh,
given all the things that are happening.
definitely. Definitely. I don't know if there are any ladies that are listening, if there are any of them they are single and can relate. But we're live, right?
I am sure there are many who can relate. I know people who can relate, for sure, for sure. So you are running your business and you're still working a corporate life.
Yes.
And so, you know, we wanted to touch a little bit on how to find a balance, because it's very easy for entrepreneurs to get sucked in to working all the time.
Yes.
And I know this because my Christmas tree is still up. We're in April. But every time I think about taking it down, I'm like, if I have a few hours to take down my Christmas tree, I can better use those few hours putting into my book that needs to get published, putting into this program that. So I'm rationalizing everything in my life based on, yeah, but I should get this work done first.
Yes.
Right. And so
Everything
then,
takes priority, rather everything takes priority. Like, you know, I ended up taking, I have a lady that comes in to clean my place, because otherwise I will cover I'll be covered up to here.
Yes, I do the same thing, right? You prioritize, it's kind of time versus money. I would rather spend money to have extra time to have somebody come and clean my place. One, because I hate it. Two, because I have allergies. So my allergist doesn't want me cleaning, which that was not a hard sell for me. But it gives me time back. But
Yes.
no matter how much time I have, I spend it on my business.
Yeah.
So, this is where I think uh, it doesn't necessarily have to do with voice and with what I coach, but I is an aspect for any coach to discuss in their programs is how to work in a balance, because you have to make time for you.
Yes.
You have to take care of you.
And as a coach, we teach this to people, right? But then we don't do it ourselves.
Yes.
So I think it should begin with us. We should do it us and lead by example.
That is a great
Yeah.
comment. Yes, absolutely. Because we need to practice what we preach, no matter what it is we're coaching in. We should be leading by example. Otherwise, we lose credibility.
Yes.
So, yeah, you bring up a really valid point. That's great. That is great, right? We have to set boundaries, and I'm becoming even more aware of that now, because more than once the universe has come back and told me, oh, well, if you're not going to take the time, we're going to make you. Here's a migraine. Here's, something else. So, I've realized it, and talking with another friend who's a coach, I was like, I think I need to start scheduling in my me time, so that that's a boundary I'm not willing barter with, right? That I will take from this time one day to this time the next day, and that's me. That's mine to do with as I please.
Yes.
And it's about staying away from the computer, trying to stay away from my phone as much as possible. It's a time for me to spend with friends, family, those that I can right now, and really value the little time that I have with those people, or doing something that I love doing. Like I said to a friend of mine, I need a day where I can get excited about doing a craft, because I love being creative and, coloring even, or like silly things, but they bring me joy and they help me just kind of release. And I haven't been doing it because I keep telling myself, oh, well, if I have time to color, then I have time to write this article and do that. So I need to treat my time.
Is the critic voice inside telling you, oh, well, you really want to waste your afternoon doing that?
Yeah. Yeah. Because as an entrepreneur, you're constantly working at ways to bring in your income, because you are responsible for that. You don't have a check coming to you from a boss, because you are the boss. You have to bring in the money. So, in that mentality, we're always looking to, okay, how can I better my business? How can I better myself? How can I live my, performing to my highest purpose? How can I serve? How can I? We forget to say, how can I service myself so that I can continue bringing my best self to everybody?
You have to exercise self-care.
Exactly. So what do you do to create that balance for you? Because I know you're juggling even more than most, because you still have that corporate job as well, and you're kind of spinning all the plates in the air.
So it's got a little better, but it used to be really bad. It used to be, I was working like loads of hours. Then I would come home and continue working on my desk, and I would have dinner at my desk at work. I would have lunch at my desk and work on my business on lunch at work. And I used to get up extra early to, do stuff. Then on my days off, I would see clients and work all day. And, and you have to be visible in online coaching. If you're not visible, you don't exist,
Yes.
right?
That's what I train people on, right? That
Yeah,
if you want to exist in this online world, you
be
have to be visible. That means you have to be posting.
Yeah,
You have
it's
to be
like
doing
having a
videos.
store. So like the store has a shop window. So
Yeah.
you have to use your visibility, saying, hey, I'm open for business. It's like having a shop window, right?
Hmm.
So I was doing all the visibility. I was seeing clients on my days off. And then also I'm a dating coach. So of course I had to take my dating life is like it's a priority.
Yes. Well, you almost have to treat it like a job
Yes,
if
so
you're
I used
looking
to
for somebody.
So I used to, on my days off, I used to like work, then get ready for dates. Then I used to go on dates. And then because I was already all pretty with my makeup from coming back from a date, I used to come back from a date and go live.
Wow.
So it was no rest. It was like work, 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 work,
Yeah.
work, right?
Yeah.
And then because sometimes I don't fancy going dating, but it's like, well, I have to date. So it becomes like a job.
Yeah, it does.
That psychologically it's like a job, right?
Yeah.
But then the pandemic hit, and with the pandemic i I was trying to go part-time in my corporate job, and for the longest time they refused to allow me to go part-time. And then just a couple of days before the pandemic they said yes to my part-time. So
You.
I dropped 1 day a week in my job. So I was working. And with the pandemic, they were saying, no, no, Penny, you have to come back. And I was like, no, sorry, it's written, it's signed, it's delivered. I'm not having it. But also with the pandemic, social life, me time, and dating life went out the window. So it just got really good with the pandemic. For me, like I really enjoy the pandemic. I go to work, I come home, I carry on working in my business because there was like nothing else to do. You can't have a social life. You can't
Hmm.
have, and in the middle, I did scheduling a few Netflix, and chill sessions so that I could have a little bit of me time. Just, um, I became quite regular meditating as well.
Hmm.
So I kind of got in there like a little bit of a routine that it was not watching TV,
Hmm.
and it was good. But Deva, the problem is next week everything is opening. So now it's gonna be even busier because I'm gonna be working in the corporate job. I'm gonna be doing my business, and like people, it's like for the last month, people texting me saying we have to meet, and the anxiety goes. It's like I don't have time to meet. I still got all these things to do.
Yeah. Well, and I think the best mentality to have as you approach that and things open up, you don't
Mhm,
want to go crazy and jump in both
mhm.
feet. Little bit by little bit, add those,
Ah,
gatherings and getting together. Just
right.
one, to be safe for yourself, but also you don't you don't want to run yourself down either.
Exactly.
So you've got to be careful. And this is where, and we talked about this before too, we need to, as coaches, teach our clients about taking that time for them. And we
Yes.
need to do it by leading by example. We need to do it by showing them how. And so creating a standard operating procedure for your clients and for yourself,
Mhm.
probably the most beneficial thing, because you're literally scheduling out so that you can physically see it on a calendar and
Mhm.
say, okay, these time slots are non-negotiable. I get up in the morning, I meditate, I exercise, I have my coffee and my breakfast, and then I'm ready to handle my day. So schedule that in. Schedule in the time you're going to put towards whatever task for your business or your
How
job.
realistic? How realistic is it the scheduling in when, because like you can schedule a social life, you have to go, right? Because otherwise your girlfriends will strangle you.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
struggling the dates, right? But I find that I have done the scheduling in, but then it's like, okay, well, let me just finish this. Let me just finish this.
Yes.
Let me just finish this. Oh, damn. No bath. I'll just have a quick shower.
Yes, exactly. Well, and
Oh,
you
damn.
have to be flexible at the same time, right?
Oh, I
It's
have to go to
kind
bed
of that,
early again.
yeah, it's that fine line between being rigid and flexible. You
Yeah.
plan it out as best you can, but life happens and you got to roll with the punches at the same
Yeah.
time. But you have to make sure, as I'm learning, to schedule in specific time where you walk away from your business, and it's not going to hurt your business. It's going to help you
It's gonna
rejuvenate.
help.
It's
Yeah.
going to help, revive that passion so that you come back and you're like, wow, on fire again, rather than trying to constantly be putting stuff out and burning yourself out at the same time. So it's a fine line between rigid and scheduling and being flexible, but making sure to set boundaries, making sure to have those specific times. If
Yeah.
meditating and exercise is super important to you, then there's no negotiating with that.
Mm-hmm.
From 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., that's your time.
Yeah.
Wayne Dwyer actually, do you know who Wayne Dwyer is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did that. That was one of his non-negotiables, is he would get up in the morning, he would go for a run, and he would meditate. All 8 of his kids knew that that was his time. There was no interrupting him. There was no, changing the schedule or, stepping away from that,
Yeah.
because that was what was important to him.
Yeah.
And, it helped him in so many ways, because personally it was the time he needed to make his body feel good, to make his mind feel good, to then be able to tackle the rest of his day.
Yeah.
And his kids saw that, honored that, and set up those things for themselves as well. So leading by example for your clients, for the people around you, is important too. So if I say to my friends, you know what, I'm scheduling myself off on Fridays, that's our time. If we're going to get together, Friday's it. Maybe occasionally I can, little tweaks here and there. If we get concert tickets or theater tickets, then I can go another night. But right now, Fridays are for me and you guys to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take advantage of that. Right. And
Yeah.
until we're in a space where we can hire somebody else to do all our work.
Yeah. I already, even though that I am not making the income that I like to, I already had to start um is hiring people to help me do the things, because there were some things, because English is not my first language.
Mhm.
My copy really needed help, so I just recently hired someone to do my copywriting. And
Nice.
also because I was so busy when I started with the corporate job, and just as you start, I could not sit down and create my website. So I have a web lady that take care of my website, And I had never had to do anything with the website. Like, this lady came and did everything for me. She was a godsend. And so slowly, I rather implement these things before I quit my job, because my corporate can allows me to be able to invest this money as
Right.
well.
Absolutely. I think that's a
So,
great thing.
yeah, so I saw Gabrielle Bernstein. You watch?
Mhm.
So she actually had a little 5-day thing, like a freebie that she sends you for 5 days, and it was like to help you, incorporate your coaching business with your corporate job until you are able to quit the job.
Nice.
And yes, but there's a thing also. I was just talking to this lady the other day. So her house, she lives in a 4-bedroom house with a garden and everything. She can park, I don't know how many cars in the front. She only pays like £800 for that a month. And I live in a little 2-bed, which I cannot afford. I need to have a flatmate to help me pay the rent. And, it's double that living in London.
Wow.
So I cannot, it's like I need to take myself up to here. I cannot take myself here and let go of my corporate job. I have
Right.
to become a already super successful coach before I let go of my corporate. So it's going to be a long time until, maybe another year or two other years maybe before
Yeah.
I can actually let go,
Yeah.
because I cannot become homeless. And I cannot make a move. The move is very expensive, to quit the job and then only rely on the coaching,
Right.
right?
So
So
I think your expectations for yourself are low.
really,
Yes.
oh, I like that.
I think you need to believe in yourself and what you do a little bit more to know that you have the potential
Mm.
to get to that place where you are exceeding what you're making at your corporate job so that you can leave that. I think you are capable of doing that much sooner than the couple of years that you're talking.
In a regular, because there is great months where I hit and there is great months where I don't hit. So you have
Right.
to be realistic. And when you have all these bills to pay and you live in such expensive area, you need to hit every day. And that I like nice things. I can't live, you know, I can't live a modest life. And
Yes.
I am not, what do you call it? I am not a frugal lady. I can't do frugal. It depresses me. It
Yes.
truly depresses me. So if I want to maintain my lifestyle, this is the only way. I like nice
Yes.
things. I like
But
to
I
live a
still
nice
think you need to
life.
believe in yourself a little bit more, that you're capable of doing it in a shorter amount of time than you think.
Yeah, I just like, I like to have. I know I can make it, but it's the consistency of it that I struggle with.
Right.
Like it's still not consistent.
Okay. And what
So
about what you're doing do you think is making it not consistent?
probably because I can't give it 100% of the energy. Probably,
Okay. But you are giving it quite a bit of energy.
yeah.
Do you know how many clients you would need to help, or to join a program that you would need on a monthly basis to make a consistent amount?
So I am working on now creating a group coaching program that will allow me to take on more clients and create a more steady, rather than I have a monthly membership called the Love School with members, but that's not, I'm growing it as we speak.
Right.
And then I have my high ticket clients That's what's bringing the money. But the high ticket clients are hard work because it's high
Yeah.
ticket. You know, you have to give it your all, and I cannot take more than 2 at a time because my head will explode.
Yes. So I like that you're doing the group coaching, that you're
Mhm.
starting to maneuver there, because that was actually going to be my next question for you,
Yes. So
right?
that's I am starting to like put it together. Like, okay, so what's gonna be in it? So like that is not on the law school and it's not on a high ticket. I have to create something that is somewhere in the middle
Yeah.
because I don't want to steal the bits from here or steal the bits from here. I want to create something that it would sit in the middle, that it wouldn't require constant nurturing. The high ticket clients,
Hmm.
it's like a 24-hour job, right? They require constant nurturing. But the group, it would be like, right, so group call at this time once a week, that's it.
Right. And I think that's really a great way to go. And there are ways too, if you think of a value ladder,
Mhm.
Russell Brunson talks often of a value ladder. If you created, an ebook or a book of some kind that, gives the tips and tricks and things that you teach people on dating, you can create a passive income with that if you publish a book like that, especially in audio format, like an audiobook, to help people with dating. And it can be something very simple, and start creating some things that are bringing a passive income, where once it's out there you don't have to worry about it so much, like your membership, which is also a good idea. And maybe look at it, yeah, on top of the group coaching, maybe do some workshops, like create a 2-hour workshop for, I don't know, under $100, let's say, where people can sign up to do this workshop, and give them something that they're looking for, that they can achieve in those 2 hours, to help them in their dating life.
Mhm.
And then if you do one of those workshops every 4 to 6 weeks, then you're also making steady income. You're only devoting a certain amount of time. You can have up to 100 people on Zoom to sign up for that workshop. And even at, let's say, $47, you have 100 people at $47 in 2 hours. You've just brought in $4,700. And you do that every month, that's
Yeah,
$4,700 for 2 hours a month that you're bringing in on a consistent basis.
but that sounds great. But my email list is not big enough for that yet. That is a great idea, but I'm working on my email list.
Which is great. But I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people who are working without an email list. So with the right messaging,
They're
with the
not
right
bringing in
content.
they're not bringing in 100 clients in.
No, but what I'm saying is you gain visibility on your account, like on your social media accounts, and you start showing people in your messaging, which is, I mean, this is in my group program, which starts on Monday, is when you get your messaging nice and clear to exactly who your ideal client is, they will start coming out of the woodwork and finding you. I know it's happening for me. I get people messaging me multiple times a day saying, how do I do a live video on a blog, right? And people are asking me questions. So that's telling me that my messaging that I'm putting out there, people are now seeing me as the expert and coming and asking me questions, which then helps me build relationships, which then helps them see the value of what I'm giving. And they go,
Mm,
maybe I need to sign up for her program, because
yeah.
she kind of knows what she's talking about. Do you know what I mean? So you start putting your stuff out there, your messaging, you create a really great freebie, right? Like a free opt-in, a free
Mhm.
lead magnet. and you can build your email list quickly. I added 200 people to my email list on one post.
Excellent.
Right? So it's all about your messaging. It's all about what you're putting out there and making sure that people start seeing you as the expert.
Yes.
I guarantee that, you know, when you start doing that, that momentum starts building. Your email list will build automatically. But let's say you start doing a workshop this month, at the end of this month, and you start advertising for it now. Start putting it out there, start talking to people about it. And let's say you only have 20 people sign up.
Yeah.
20 times 47 is still money.
Yes.
And if they walk away thinking, wow, that was really great value for under 50 bucks, I need to tell all my single friends that they need to do this workshop too. And then they tell two friends and they tell two friends, and right. And then all that momentum starts building, but it has to build somewhere. It has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So you totally have the potential, especially because people will pay money if you make dating simpler for them.
Yes.
I know it. I know so many people in the dating world. They're like, oh my God, this is why maybe arranged marriages work better, because like they can't handle the
Actually,
dating.
I have a friend that she got married in an arranged marriage, and she has got the most beautiful marriage.
It happens. It definitely does happen.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
happened.
for sure. And
Uh,
you know, there's a book that I've written an outline for. I've had for years and years the thought of writing it, called Diaries of a Dating Queen. Just because just my own experience in dating. Oh my God. I would pay $47 to go to a workshop to see what you could do to teach me, to help me make a shift or change in my dating life.
yeah, definitely.
Right? Because I have volumes worth that I can write books on about. I don't want any more. I don't want any more dating stories like that. So there's so much potential, because there's so many people who either they work too much, don't know how to meet somebody,
Mm-hmm.
so they need your help and expertise. And then there are people who do a lot of dating, but they're meeting the wrong kinds of people, and they need your help and advice. And I mean,
Definitely.
there's so many people out there
Yeah.
who need your advice and don't even know it yet.
Yes. So that's why, like, because I can't take many high ticket clients, I'm working on creating this group coaching program that it's going to be like somewhere in between. It will be more affordable as well, because not
Yeah.
everybody can afford high tickets.
Yeah.
So more it will add, it'll be like an extra thing to my value ladder as well.
Yes.
And maybe, it won't be too much once it's created.
Mhm.
It won't be too much work. The thing is, like, every time that you say, well, let's do this, it's like extra work, and I am working less.
No,
So
I
like,
know, but
we're creating life balance, and all the solutions are, well, go and do this, which creates more work, and then it's like that's where the overwhelm comes from.
right. But what I'm talking about is you repurposing material you probably already have. To create a workshop for you, I think would be super easy, because it's probably stuff you've already got either done or you've already worked on. So it's not about creating something new, really. It's just about putting it out there and having people come to it. You
Yeah.
already have that figured out. So I'm not meaning like add more work to your plate. I'm just saying take this work, put it in this package, and go here.
Yeah. Yes, I need to, like, I have seen there is this coach that I signed up for something, and it was like it's a webinar. So they sell you a webinar, and then you could tell that when you went on a webinar, It's like the webinar is going to be at this time. And then, so you log on at this time, you access the webinar, but actually the webinar was not live. It was something recorded years ago.
Yeah.
Because you can tell because he was reading the comments and the comments weren't there.
Yes. Oh, I know. Yeah.
Like, I'm in front of this.
Yes. You have, yeah, and you can, but you have to do it live for a little bit first. Russell Brunson talks about that. He did his webinar. He did it live as a workshop for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it regularly, like every 4 to 6 weeks or whatever it was. And then once he read comments and listened to what people said and tweaked and shifted and made it like awesome workshop, then he automated it and did it like that webinar.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, yeah, that's great, but that's like, again, more work. Like if I have to do that extra for a whole year, I rather wait a little longer to give up my job and don't burn out than kill myself with extra work and extra work and extra work. Because when I get going, there is no stopping there. There is no stopping me.
Yeah.
I forget to eat. I forget to sleep. I forget to,
Cheers. I'm there with you too.
It's just like you go into the zone, right? And there is no stopping. So to create more work to on top of that. It's already so the thought of it is overwhelming already as it is, so I am working in to create life more, work-life balance. I need to add more life and less work.
Yes. But in order to do that, you have to make the income to be able to leave the corporate job.
There you go. So there is my little trap. There's my little trap.
There's so much potential with you. I want to get in there and help you.
I am prepared to be patient. I am prepared to be patient. And, I was like, I don't know, like maybe, one day something will happen, that it will make me feel safe enough to quit the job, but I don't want to, because the job, it provides that safety,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's a safety blanket.
It's like it's like so, like in my head thinking, well, if I quit the job and I put in all the job time into the business, I'll double the amount of so the income will double too. But that's not necessarily true for a while.
Yeah.
And because the cost of living is so high, there is no way that I can take a risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true, especially in the area that you're in. It is expensive.
So I need to get my ducks in a row to prepare because of course I don't want to stay in London forever, especially doing this business. There's no need for me to live near to the tube station. There is nothing for me left in the city. So I'm prepared to move out into a more affordable home and bigger as well. and have a garden for my dog. But it's whilst I'm getting the ducks in a row, I don't want to burn out.
Right.
I don't want to burn out just when I'm like this from my goal. So this is it, It's my little trap. So the way that it only makes sense in my head is like, just take it easy. It will happen. Just get your ducks in a row. This is my strategy so far. I don't have, because I don't have anything else. So yes, I can work more. Yes, I can come up but that's only going to lead me to put more hours, and it's just going to lead me to burnout. And there is a lot of things that I have tried that haven't actually particularly worked out great either. So I'm just because in my past my mistake is like I try to put the cart before the in front of the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
say that in English?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Put the
So
cart before the horse.
and then so like it's very painful to look back and say, okay, where did I fail? It's like, well, you try to fly without wings.
Right. But you didn't fail. You learned a lesson.
Yes, I learned my lesson. So now the only way when I look back and I say, well, how am I gonna? It's like, you need to get wings. You need to keep growing that email list, keep growing this, keep just do what you're doing and just keep growing it. It's not gonna happen overnight.
No, and that's, you make a very valid point. And I think all entrepreneurs, especially new ones, need to understand there is no overnight success. There is no, sure way to $1 million in a short period of time. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of consistency, and you need to keep showing up.
Yes, because we are fed these stories of these, people that it looks like it's an overnight success, but it's not. It's just that you didn't see all the times that they fail, and that you didn't see all the hours that they put in, and you didn't see all. You only see the success, isn't it? But behind that, there is a lot of work that they put on. So that we need to do that as well as new entrepreneurs before we will become an overnight success, but you need to do the work first, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you talk to people like Tony Robbins and Russell Brunson and Jenna Kutcher. They all had that, head down, work hard time
Mm-hmm.
before they became big. And,
Yeah.
and Tony Robbins speaks very openly about it at his events, how he started, and it became him eating, breathing, sleeping, this
Mhm.
desire to build this business, and just absorbing and learning and implementing. And it took time, and now he's kind of the coach of all coaches.
Yeah.
So it's
And Maria Forleo, she quit her job thinking she was ready, and then she had to go back to waitressing again.
yeah, yeah, there's a lot there's a lot to learn in the process.
Yeah. So you see,
And
I want to go to waitressing because I will be really bad waitress.
I don't think you have to worry about going to waitressing. I think you're going to be just fine. You're in a great niche, in a great market,
And
right? People always going to need dating advice. They're always going to need help with that.
yes, definitely, especially now with the pandemic.
Yeah. People don't know what to do with themselves in the pandemic, or how to date, or they Zoom date, or whatever it is.
Yes, there's a lot of people doing Zoom dating and making a lot of mistakes and going for walks dating, which you shouldn't do either, because how you start it sets the tone. So if you go for a walk with guys where there is no investment on his part, then he's always going to treat you like the casual girl, like he doesn't have to work hard to get the girl. you know
Right.
Go for a walk, like because I'm going back dating in a couple of weeks, so I already gone back to the apps, right? And the guys, they will offer you walks. And I'm like, well, no, I don't think so. You have to take me
That
somewhere
doesn't work
nicer.
for me. Yes, exactly. Somewhere where, you have to dress up,
Yes,
look
exactly.
look somewhat
Yeah,
presentable.
yeah, exactly. But it's very important the level of investment that he puts in at the beginning to get you,
Hmm.
or he realized that he got you, is very important. And if at the beginning all he needs to do is go for a walk, he doesn't even need to talk, to look at you, because when you're walking, you're both looking ahead. There is no eye contact,
Yeah, very true.
so he doesn't need to look at you. So you could feed you the biggest bullshit because you're not gonna clock on that, because you're not gonna see his body language. You're walking next to each other, right? He doesn't need to have to buy you coffee with the excuse that everything is closed. He doesn't have to do anything. And if you're not one of my clients, you're probably traveling miles to see the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that he doesn't even have to come all the way to get you. So, you know, you already ruin it all on the first date. Because this guy will never, ever lift a finger to treat you like you're special. And the girl, even though we like want to be equal, even though like we want to be treated special, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you need to, you have to make him treat you special. It's just not going to happen by magic. You need to put in the work to make him treat you special by saying, no, I'm not going to go for a walk, you know?
Yeah.
So, yes. So, no, ladies, don't go walking on dates.
Yeah. That's great advice. And I think that's a great place to end too. You know, to give that advice to those in the dating world. Don't go for a walk.
Exactly.
Make them work a little harder.
Make him work a little harder to get you. You're
Yeah.
worth more than that.
I love it. Well, it's been fabulous talking to you and talking about your business and what you're doing. I think there's so much potential with what you're doing. I foresee it happening much quicker than you do.
Yes.
But, you know, keep us
I'm going to
posted.
do it right.
Yeah, you're in a great niche, Penny. Like, right? Everybody needs to date. It's like a mortician. They're always going to be in business because people are always dying. So, you know, people are always going to be dating.
Yeah.
And so it's a great niche, a great market to be in. And, you know, you're smart and you're working hard. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. I will get there.
Yes. Yeah, you will.
One day, you know, it's going to happen. I just have to like, don't burn myself out before I get there.
Yes. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming in the hot seat.
Thanks for having me. I love it. And also, there, I have to thank you because, you know, like, I love the way that you did the hot seat and then you cross the hot and then you put love. And I started because I'm a love coach.
Yes.
Like, what did I not think of this? So I stole it from you. And now my hot seat is called a love seat.
Nice.
Yes,
Awesome.
so thank you for that. I love it.
I'm happy it's working. Good.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Well, so much love to you and all this craziness. Hopefully things go smoothly as your world opens up next week. Mine just shut down today. So yeah, we'll see where we're at in the next little while in this pandemic. And keep us posted in the group how things are going with your business and your move towards leaving that corporate job.
I will. It will all happen and I'll keep you posted. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Mwah.